that you guys are interested in it. That they are fascinated. Some of you are fascinated when I talk about the song "Till a Morning" with Shaggy and Sting. It is now number one in New York for the past 6 weeks. Let me give you an update. 6 weeks in New York and 3 weeks in South Florida. There seems to be no stopping this song. And I guess Shaggy and his people them are paying attention. It's also number one on iTunes reggae chart because they have no release a remix. I got it in my mailbox. I got it last night. I really haven't listened to it yet. But I think it's gonna be, this one is, real dancehall, jump and dancehall. Maybe the remix, I suspect, if I have to make an educated guess, I would think the remix is more like gonna be hip hop. Because when you have a song as big as Till a Morning in reggae, other genres, hip hop, soca, they want a piece of the action too. They want to, and Shaggy will definitely give them a piece of that action. So, like I said, I haven't heard it yet, but I suspect it would be more of a hip hop mix. And if it's not a hip hop mix, I also think there would be a soca piece to it. Imagine that. And that's the norm for a big tune. You get a few mixes. So 6 weeks at number one in New York and 4 weeks, 3 weeks number one in South Florida. And I suspect it's gonna hold that position for a couple of weeks. I don't know about the New York side because New York is such a place that, yeah, you're big and you stay number one for a couple of weeks, but there are several songs on the chart right now that is just kicking up right behind Shaggy and Sting. But maybe another week, another 2 weeks at number one. And I also think that it's gonna do another 2 weeks here in South Florida. So next week when I join you, I will at that time, if you haven't heard it by then, I will tell you about the remix, and some people call it refix, and I suspect it will be hip hop flavor or something, even a pop, because you're talking about Sting, and Sting is a pop artist, and they might have a mix just for his genre, his fan base. So, and I like the fact that I don't know, I didn't hear it. So I'm thinking in myself, it could be this, it could be that. But definitely when I come back to you next week, I'll let you know. Another big event that's coming up, and I see, well, first, I don't know if did I talk about that last week? Vibes Cartel doing, Vibes Cartel selling out 2 nights at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. A lot of people were doubtful that would happen. 1 night, yeah, but 2 nights, and he did that quite well. And I know he's coming down here to, sometime in May, he's coming to Fort Lauderdale. I don't have all the information yet. And I wonder sometimes, and I'm sure Vibes Cartel is now calling Florida home. He now lives there in Florida. From what I understand, he bought himself a nice house, and according to reports, he said he's giving Jamaica a little break, which is a good move on his part. Because remember, there's people in Jamaica that still think, he must pay a price for whatever he went to prison for. So giving Jamaica a break, that's a very good, I don't know where in Florida. I think he might be in Miami, I'm not sure. But he's now calling Florida, South Florida, his home for the time being. And I remember just like 2 months after he got out of prison, he bought this, what they said was $100 million mansion in Jamaica. $100 million, Jamaican dollars. And I remember there were videos showing inside the house, the garden outside, and I'm like, when you have that kind of a money, when you have that kind of a money, you can buy a mansion in one place for 100 million. And don't tell me, oh, you know, 100 million in the US is blah blah. It's not in the US. 100 million is 100 million, even if it's Haiti, yeah. Even if it's Guyana, because they have a very weak dollar there. It's still 100 million. So to spend 100 million in, let's say, in November, October, November, and you're not gonna live in there, because I don't think Vybz Kartel is going anywhere near Jamaica anytime soon. And that's smart. He's a smart kid. I'm just wondering because he has his children here and he kept saying he's gonna marry his girlfriend, Sidem. So if he has his kids here and is a future wife here in America, who is gonna occupy that mansion in Jamaica? Who? I mean, is he extended family like cousins and aunties and grandma and all those people will occupy that big house? Maybe. Or will he put it up for sale, you know? Because people, eventually that house is gonna become public, the whereabout of that house. And he knows he has enemies in Jamaica. Because one of the things he reportedly said is that he feels safer here in the US than he would in Jamaica. And he's not the only one. So we'll see where that goes. But he feels safer here in the US and he's here in Florida. So, but he's coming to Florida. And to be honest with you, I haven't been seeing much about it. Have you seen anything, Trisha?
Not really.
Not really, right?
Not big.
Yeah, like, you know. But I also think that they are assured that he's gonna sell out wherever he's going. Mm-hmm. So they are seeing, you know, having a budget for promotion on radio and TV is like a waste of money. Maybe next year he might have to do some promotion, but here in Florida it will be his first performance in God knows how long. So yes, I can understand a low budget for promotion, and I also understand that the media here is not too happy about it because they not make no money, you know. Usually you put up, like the other show that's coming up in Memorial Day weekend, Best of the Best. They are promoting. And they have Buju, they have Marcia Griffiths, Barry Salmon. But the reason I believe, to analyze this, the reason I believe that all of these artists on Best of the Best, they have performed here in recent times. Barris comes here every summer. Barris comes here every summer. And Buju, he did a sold out here in Fort Lauderdale. But what they're selling on this show is the first time Buju and Barris on the same stage in Florida. And I'm like, I didn't even notice that. And when I check my records, it's true. They have been here, you know, separately, individually. But this is the first time both of them gonna be on stage. So that gives the show a little edge. Nadine Sutherland has been added, Marcia Griffith, I think Romaine Virgo. So it's got to be a good package. And they would need to advertise. The Bayfront Park, downtown Miami, is a huge place. You know, it can hold, what, 25,000 people? So it is necessary for them to advertise. Vibes Cartel, it maybe need to sell 16,000 seats. So I think that's why so far, I mean, we're still a month away, because I think it's the 17th of May or something like that. 17th, 19th, that time. And we are now, you know, we are the 23rd, so a little bit less than a month to go. So that's how I feel that it's gonna go with these two guys. And people are talking now about Vibes Cartel, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, and Buju Banton on the same show. Where could that be held? Where could that be held? Beanie Man gonna be at the UBS arena where Buju was last year. Beanie's gonna be there Memorial Day weekend. So that's gonna test Beanie Man as to how much of a draw he is. And I know they added, Christopher Martin is added to that show. Because at the end of the day, you know, so far Buju was the only artist on his show that sold out the UBS. I mean, he had special guests like Gramps Morgan and Nadine and Wayne Wonder and so on and so on. But they weren't advertised. The only advertisement was for Buju. So you can see the scope of the promotion between Buju and Beanie Man, because Beanie Man, they already make people know who is added to the show. Think about it. So what Buju has done is to set a level where everybody, if you think you're a big draw, you're a superstar, Buju set a pace there that I guess you have to be measured to that. So anyhow, oh, by the way, before I forget, I had a good weekend. Very, very good weekend. And Saturday, you know where me and my wife went on Saturday? We went to the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. Why? You want to know why? You want to know why we went there? They have MJ the musical. MJ, as in Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson the musical. It's playing at the Broward Center of the Performing Arts for the end of the month. And in 2019, when Georgia and I went to Las Vegas for vacation, that musical was playing there and we saw it there. But this one is the big production that's gonna be traveling across the country. This production is massive. The one we saw in Las Vegas was a time like they did between Thriller and Bad, somewhere around there. But this one, that's at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. They did his story from childhood come right up to the time when he was rehearsing for that tour that he never made. Remember, he was rehearsing and next day he died or whatever. So this one, the production, the actors, the dancers, fantastic. And yes, I'm a diehard, really big fan of Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. But Michael is my favorite. I've been following Michael Jackson from he first came out. Well, not say Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5. Because we are in the same age group. I'm like 2 years older than Michael, the same age as Jermaine. Tito and Jackie are much older than me. But from Marlon, Michael, my age group there. I want to tell you something too. Back in 1970, that's like 55 years ago. I'll do the math for you because I know you're figuring out. Ooh, that's a long time. My first foreign album, living in Jamaica, you know, you have local albums and you have foreign albums. My first foreign album that I ever bought, I was like maybe 12. Because I used to get allowances. You know, I was one of them Jamaican. Well, actually, you know, I was under guardianship because my family went to America, so they left me with a guardian. And I used to get allowances. And the first foreign album that I ever bought was the Jackson 5 Christmas album. The Jackson 5 Christmas album. The first local album I ever bought was Johnny Osbourne, Come Back Darling. And when I bought that album, Johnny Osbourne album, Jamaica was still in pound, shilling, and pence. So I spent like maybe at the time £1 or less. And would you know, I grew up to work with Johnny Osbourne several times. And I would say, hey, Johnny, you know, on that album I spend, whatever, £1 and here I am promoting you, paying you. You need to give me a refund. He said, yeah, man, all right. If I see Johnny, if Johnny walk in the studio right now, if he walks right in here, the first thing I'm going to say, Johnny, I'm waiting for that refund. But anyhow, so Johnny Osbourne album was the first Come Back Darling, was the first rec LP I bought. And the Jackson Christmas album was the first foreign. So I'm just trying to show you how we, you know, me and the boys, we go back. We go way back. And I had the pleasure of seeing Michael, the Jackson 5 at Madison Square Garden, 1980, the Victory Tour. And coming up to our break, but when I get back from the break, I will tell you the second time I saw Michael Jackson. Fascinating story coming up next. You're tuned, you're watching Reflections with Clinton Lindsay, and we are here Wednesdays from 3 until 4. Gotta take a break. We'll be back after these words.
Fresh from England, English teacher, man come sting, Mr. Bombastic, man come shaggy, so come pumpkin all the power, judge
It's come to think call. We are drop them on the iTunes wallet. Big sauna, bad sauna, big sauna, bad sauna, sting.
When my sound play big tunes, light is in the air, the vibes up in the street, and that's just how it feels when reggae music plays. Can't help but move your feet, pull up the vibe 'cause the music is sweet, yeah. Shaggy got lyrics to spin on this beat, yeah.
Select a play the big tune, you feel me? Right back till the morning, hey. Turn up the music, make me rock and come in. Right back till the morning. Well, crowd of people follow the place and sound string up na the lawn. Dance catch a fire when the big tune turn on. Some push up them lighters, some sound the ear on. Dollar bill it a fi flinker, money pull up a fi one. Make you turn up that tune, you just say me. And a pretty girl them run up on a ball over shaggy. Some take up the microphone and pick up every crew and passe. Latch up no sting and come sing out fi way.
When my sound play big tunes, light is in the air, your vibes up in the street, and that's just how it feels when reggae music plays. Can't help but move your feet, pull up the vibe 'cause the music is sweet, yeah. Shaggy, we be killing this beat, yeah.
Cause when Saturday night reach and nobody now step, new clothes, new car, everything prep. Be a boss, say walk in a designer crib. Forward in a shell bar until no more liquor no left. Conscious smoke full up the place, now but no damn cigarette. Tell selector pull up the tune, now watch say forward in baguette. Not no nice like dancer, it a the greatest. Sweet reggae music and nobody now stress.
When my sound play big tunes, light is in the air, your vibes up in the streets.
I'm TC Flexx from Flexx TV, and I'm here to let you know of our live streaming services that you can use to enhance your business or special event, such as wedding, bar mitzvah, funeral, repast, live concert, sporting event, pay-per-view event, a divorce party, you name it, we can stream it. Call us now at 954-289-6005 or 954-729-2082 and ask us how we can transform your dream into reality.
Attention business owners, are you ready to maximize your tax deductions and take full advantage of every credit available to you?
Look no further than BMG Tax and Accounting Services, your trusted partner in Tamarack, Florida. With over 35 years of expertise, Nigel Blair is here to handle all your business needs. From bookkeeping to tax preparation, we provide the personalized care and attention your business deserves.
Don't let opportunities slip away. Contact BMG Tax and Accounting Services today. Call 954-289-6005. That's 954-289-6005. BMG Tax and Accounting Services, experience you can trust, results you can count on.
Flexx TV celebrates Reggae Month with a message from Damian Marley. A lot of people become unattractive once you find out how they think. Flexx TV salutes Damian Marley for his contribution to reggae music.
Hear the children crying. Hear the children crying. Say it. Thanks and praise to the
Okay, we are back. We are back. We are back live on Flexx TV, and we are here every Wednesday from 3 until 4 p.m. And before we took that break, I was gonna tell you how, the second time I saw Michael Jackson. Told you the first time I saw him was at Madison Square Garden, 1980, the Victory Tour. And by the way, that piece, because it was promoted by Don King, the boxing promoter, and a lot of people weren't happy. And in the play that I saw over the weekend, that is included. So it's really a big production. It's called the MJ Musical. So when it comes to your town, make sure you go see it. And you don't have to be a Michael Jackson fan. It's just a good production, good music, and it's a good, interesting story. So I was at home one morning. I think it was 1990 or 1991. I got a call from one of my colleagues, and she said, "Hey, Clinton, they're gonna have a press conference. They're putting together a press conference for Michael Jackson." And I'm like, "For Michael Jackson?" She said, "Yeah." Now, being on the radio all this time, if you listen to me long enough, you know my favorites. My favorite this, my favorite food, my favorite singer, DJ, because I talk about it a lot. So people know, Michael Jackson is on top of my list. People know Sam Cooke is my favorite singer of all time. Slim Smith, Jamaican singer, everybody knows. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I listen to some of these guys and they're gonna play a Slim Smith, they will say, "Oh, this one is for Mr. Lindsay." Because I don't hide it. My favorite foods and all of that. And if you listen to me long enough, you know my dream spot to go in the Caribbean is Barbados. I've been saying this now for like 35 years. I still haven't made it in Barbados, or made it to Barbados, but that's the place I want to go. I want to go to Barbados so badly. And every time I make plans or about to make plans, something comes up. So anyhow, if you listen to me long enough, but everybody knows Michael Jackson, Randy Crawford, another of my favorites, everybody knows that. Sam Cooke, woo! So when my colleague called me and said, "Hey Clinton, you want to meet Michael?" I'm like, "Yeah, but," it was like maybe 8:30 the morning when she called me, and the press conference was set up for about 10 o'clock. I'm way up in Yonkers, and the press conference gonna be at the Beacon Theater, 72nd Street and 72nd Street and Broadway. And she said she's gonna be outside waiting for me because she's gonna get me in. And she said, if you want to, make sure you get there, because she was leaving Brooklyn. She just got a call that they have in this emergency press conference with Michael Jackson. And I'm like, whoa, I'm in bed. And I'm like, I got up and I, brushed my teeth and jump in my car and head for the West Side Highway. I drove like a madman. I was just breaking the speed limit just to get there. Because if she goes in and I'm not there with her, I won't be able, because she rides for Ebony and Essence, and so she was big, much bigger in that world than I was. I have a name in the Caribbean community and the Caribbean media, but she has a bigger name in the hip hop and R&B media. So we work together. Like something happening in my neck of the woods, I would call her. Hey, just like something happening in her neck of the woods, and she knows I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. So anyway, when I got there, I was like, you can't park, you have to find a parking spot, and the parking garage was maybe 2 blocks from the venue. I park and I run and I run and I run. And just as she was getting ready, I could see her looking right and left outside the Beacon Theater. looking right and left, and I'm here. He said, oh, you made it. So we went in together. And they have the cameras and all the major TV stations, WABC, CBS TV, everybody. There were about 100 media people being alert to this press conference. So I took a seat and I tried to sit as close, even without my press pass, because you'd have to have one to go to ask questions, but for me, I just wanted to see Michael. I just wanted to see him. And I knew they weren't going to allow me to ask a question. But, my friend was like, come on down and see him. And, eventually he came on the stage at the Beacon in his white gloves. And, Michael Jackson look, with the stuff. And he was talking about Janet Jackson. There was some rumor that Janet was ill or something to do with Janet Jackson. And he was in New York to do that show that he did at Madison Square Garden. And I tell you, Michael didn't even, within a day or two after that press conference, he was admitted to an hospital in New York City. You remember that? He was admitted for some breathing or whatever it was. So I was able to see him 2 days before he was admitted in the hospital. And, I wish I could have asked a question, but they didn't. I knew going in that they wouldn't allow me because, it's pre-arranged, and most of these journalists and reporters, they have most likely handed in their questions. Because when you talk to a Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston and those big superstars, you gotta submit an idea of what you're gonna be asking. You just don't walk up and ask them, hey Michael, hey Whitney, blah blah blah. That don't work. Because of their controversial personalities, and Michael at the time had several. The first thing people gotta ask him, did you bleach? Did you have any surgery? And I guess after a while he probably grew tired of all those questions. Is it true that you slept in an oxygen tank? Is it true that So people like Michael Jackson, they want you to submit not the direct question, but the nature of your question. And they will say, nah, you can't don't ask him that. And you agree to. Some people agree to, but still ask it anyhow. But when you do that, you kind of work yourself in the corner, because then nobody else is going to trust you. The witness not going to trust you. And they're all in the same booking agents and managers, and everybody mix up. So you do one thing to Michael, Whitney's gonna hear about it. Prince gonna hear about it. Oh, you see that guy from WABC TV? You know what he did? He said he wasn't gonna ask Michael about bleaching or his nose or whatever, plastic surgery, but he did anyhow. So when you do that now, everybody have you off. Yeah, that guy from, like what Trump is doing right now with, he's doing it with AP, because they refuse to name the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. They refuse to change that. And what he has done, block them. They can't get into the White House press room. So you'll be blacklisted if you agree to not to ask certain questions, and you go ahead and still do it. They don't take it lightly. So to get an interview with the likes of, and what they do, let's say Michael is in town for a concert, and you have media day. You know what the media day is like? Each media personality or each media person has 5 minutes. And Michael will come out, Whitney, Luther Vandross, all of those superstars. They will come out, sit in front of you, and you have the guy on the side that will say, 1, 2, 3, go. you get your 5 minutes. And if your 5 minutes is coming up and you're in a middle of a question, they will chop. It depends on, you know, some of these celebrities will make you finish your question. But most of them, nope. And remember now, this is not live. This is where you gotta record and play it back on Evelyn TV or Evelyn News, whatever. So the reporter not gonna show the guy on the side cutting him off or cutting her off. They gotta edit it and make it look like everything was fine. And as you finish with your 5 minutes, next, and they have a list of who all the approved interviewers. So, okay, Mr. Lindsay, your turn. You have 5 minutes. And, you know, they give you time to sit in the chair and fix yourself up. But right away, 1, 2, 3, boop. And my questions are being asked. Sometimes, it depends on who is involved. They will give you, you know, 60 seconds to go. So you kind of speed things up. But the thing is, when you see that interview on television, the way they edit it, it looks like, you know, you're the artist, because you call the artist by first name. So Luther, some Michael, some Whitney. Hey, Billy, as in Billy Joel. You know, when you make this record, because you have to have that rapport with them to look real, because they gotta edit that thing when they edit it, you know. So I was able to see him, wasn't able to ask any questions, but then he was admitted to, I think it was Lenox Hill Hospital, I don't remember, but it's downtown Manhattan, and he was there for several days. And a lot of people were saying, again, it was a promotional stunt. And, oh, nothing wrong with him. He just, you know, trying to get attention and we're looking for attention. And so a guy like Michael Jackson, for me, was 5, 6, or 7, been in the spotlight. He knows how vicious the media can be. He knows it. So when you see them do things and hide and run away and cover themselves, they know. If you go see that thing, it's a reflection of the industry, like what happened to Princess Diana. These photographers, they want that shot, that natural shot that nobody else has. And they will do just about anything. They will chase you in an elevator, they will chase you in the lobby of a hotel just to get that shot. Anyhow, so to go back to say, when that play, MJ production, musical comes to your town, go see it. And you can thank me later. Alright, so before we wrap it up, I got to talk about Saturday, July 19th, here in South Florida. It will be the Great Juggling Showcase. And you know, I'm a music guy and I know the music, but then you have some people that are just like, they know the music too. I know they mix the music. I didn't learn how to mix like what I see. These songs, let's say there's a rhythm and I've seen it for years now. A man could just mix in another song without hearing a break. Just mix it like it's a long playing tape. I can't do that. I do the old-fashioned way. I segue, you know. When I fade out, I segue. You could hear the ending of one song and then the beginning of another, and then I bring it up. All these selectors work now. You just hear the song, like one song goes into the other. And when you're talking about people like Rory, Stonelow, Rory, David Radigan, King Waggy T, Ja Works. These are people that know for years and years have been practicing the selection, or you select, or you mix. And I'm not in their league. No, I'm not. As a matter of fact, back in 1985, I got the opportunity to be the third leg of a Barry G. Radigan clash in New York. They built it as New York versus Jamaica versus New York. I mean London versus New York versus Jamaica. And I was supposed to be the New York leg. 1985, I just started to, you know, make a local name for myself. And when the proposal was made to me, I was so happy because they were paying some good money. I went home and I told my wife at the time, hey, guess what? They asked me to be the third guy in the clash. And she said, what clash? I said, between Barry G and Radigan. I would be the New York end, and Radigan, of course, England, and Barry G, Jamaica. She said, why do you want, there's an old saying in Jamaica, lizard no belong in a cockfight. A lizard? You ever heard that, Trisha?
Yes, but I don't know it.
Yeah, it's lizard don't, because when two cocks rooster fighting, and a lizard should come in, they're gonna turn on that lizard because the lizard is the enemy. And she said, what you know about clashing? You know, Barry and Radigan been doing this for years. So your little career just a start. Let them go and get Gil Bailey and those other big guys that's been there before you. But I said, but Annette, they paying some good money. She said, yeah, they're gonna kill your career. And when you can't defend New York, I'm gonna say, oh shucks. So I went back to the promoter and I told him, yeah, I have to withdraw. He asked me if it's money is the issue. I said, no, money is not the issue. So what he did now to get me to be a part of it, whatever I was paying Radigan and Barry G, he said he will pay me that if money is the issue. And I'm like, oh man, I'm waiting just for one night to play music. And I went back to Annette and I'm like, Annette, he increased the salary. And I said, take my foolish advice. Barry and Radigan, they are gonna murder you because you know nothing about this clash and juggling with them. And you know, she was right because I've never done it before and I would be out of place with those two gladiators. I would call them. So Radigan is coming here for Saturday, July 19th. It will be at the Charles Dodge City Center, and that's in Pembroke Pines in Broward. And you know, it's a lot of juggling, and you know, I wish them well. I don't know if I'm in town. I'll go and I haven't seen Radigan in many years. Maybe just go and give them support. But I would never ever at this stage get involved with a clash or the Barry G's and the Radigan and the. As a matter of fact, I don't even know to play music. I just know to play music on the radio. I'm not the club guy, cause you see when you do the clubs, you gotta have certain songs that know certain songs that will get people on the dance floor. And you know, when I go out and I listen to these guys and see how they play, cause I'm a radio guy, I would play a radio song that is not for the dance hall. And that's big trouble. You gotta know which songs and what to play. Just like when they come on radio, you know, if they are not radio people. Because they bring what they know, they bring to radio. And what I know as a radio man, I'll take it to the dance hall. And not necessarily it's gonna work. So I stay out of it. When I'm having my functions, I hire these people. Yeah, I let them hire the DJ Roy's. Let them do it, because that's what they do. I was never the guy. You know, the other night I was at this place in Margate, and I was listening to Jamusa play, and I'm like, wow. I mean, he just find the right song.
Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancer used to warm, sir. When Clint and Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists, Clint and bring come up America. Some never know say Clint and Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Whole heap of artists, no for them me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists round the world and from Jamaica, New York City, where him come make me
from England, English teacher, man called Sting, Mr. Bombastic, man called Shaggy, so calm, pumpkin, all the power, Judge
It's one, it's brutal.
Things come to think call. We are drop them on the iTunes wallet. Big sound, bad sound, big sound, bad sound. Sting.
When my sound play big tunes, light is in the air, the vibes up in the street, and that's just how it feels when reggae music plays. Can't help but move your feet, pull up the vibe 'cause the music is sweet, yeah. Shaggy got lyrics to spin on this beat, yeah.
Select a play the big tune, you feel me? Right back till the morning, hey. Turn up the music, make me rock and come in. Right back till the morning. Well, crowd of people follow the place and sound string up now the lawn. Dance catch a fire when the big tune turn on. Some push up them lighters, some sound the ear on. Dollar bill it off a flink, a money pull up off a one. Make you turn up that tune, you just say me. And a pretty girl, them run up, a ball over Shaggy. Some take up the microphone and pick up every crew and pass it. Latch up no sting and come sing out the way.
When my sound play big tunes, light is in the air, pure vibes up in the street, and that's just how it feels when reggae music plays. Can't help but move your feet, pull up the vibe 'cause the music is sweet, yeah. Sting and Shaggy, we be killing this beat, yeah.
Cause when Saturday night reach and nobody now step, new clothes, new car, everything prep. Be a boss, say walk in a designer crib. Forward in a shell liver until no more liquor no left. Conscious smoke full up the place, but I'm the damn cigarette. Let's select pull up the tune, I watch it forward in my nobody now stress.
When my sound play big tunes, lighters in the air, pure vibes up in the streets, and that's just how it feels when reggae music plays. Can't help but move your feet, pull up the vibe 'cause the music is sweet, yeah. Sting and Shaggy, we be killing this beat, yeah.
Select a play the big tune, ya feel me. Right back till the morning. Hey, turn up the music, make me rock and come in. Right back till the morning.
Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancehall used to warm, sir. When Clint and Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists, Clint and bring come up America. Some never know say Clint and Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set the artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Whole heap of artists, none of them me can remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water to reggae artists round the world and from Jamaica, New York City, we're in.
Hi, I'm Amy Flexx with Flexx TV, and I am here to tell you about our pay-per-view service we now offer. Pay-per-view streaming has helped many creators ranging from event promoters, sporting events, and concerts, from all industries to monetize their content.
You may be wondering why choose pay-per-view. Well, I am here to tell you for one. You are in control of how much you can charge your customer per click, if priced right. You can win big with pay-per-view. We also offer on-demand, which can be another way to profit from your event.
So, what are you waiting for? Call us at the number below or email us at flexfm@gmail.com and let us help you reach a broader audience globally.
Flexx TV would like to thank you for your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. Flexx TV, your #1 television station.
Attention.